Welcome back to Everything Whiskey. I'm Callum.
I'm Sam.
And today we're having a look at the Woodford Reserve.
Alrighty, so today it is literally, what is it? A day? 2 days after we did the rye. We said we are going to get the normal bourbon version of the Woodford Reserve.
Yep.
That's exactly what we did. I went and got it today. Not because it's anything specifically like unique and stuff. It's just like we were so surprised we hadn't done it already, so we thought we might as well, seeing as we just did the rye as well. We can always compare to that one.
Well. We like the double and the rye.
Yeah.
And from memory, we like this as well. I think we do.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Now, Woodford Reserve, for anyone who didn't watch the last one, basically the distillery that is running now, or the site that the distillery's on, started in like 1870 or something. 1780, not 1870. So it's super old, but Woodford Reserve as like a line, as a brand itself, hasn't been going that long. It's been since like 1996 or something, 1998, I'm not sure. So relatively new line, but the distillery itself is very, very old.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the statistics, the details I'm going off are from clearly somewhere in America. I'm hoping the mash bill is the same here as it is in America, because the ABV certainly isn't. It's 43% in America, and I'm assuming 40? Pretty much everywhere else.
40 here
and
as
it is 40% here. So hopefully, at the very least, the mash bill is the same.
It would have to be,
goes
surely.
as 72% corn, 18 rye, 10 malted barley.
Yeah.
It was also been they state that it's 6 years old. Is the kind of they don't officially say that, it's just the general consensus is 6 years old from what everyone's heard and stuff. Again, I have no idea what we are getting when it comes to this kind of stuff. We're going to have to be like way more eagle-eyed and like kind of honed in, sensitive to that sort of stuff. Keep our eye out, because we might not be getting the same thing. We're definitely not getting the same thing proof-wise, but I would hope we're getting the same mash bill and age-wise.
Surely it'd be like just way too hard for them to like make a different mash bill. Surely they just keep it all the same, just water it down a little bit more for a beer.
Yeah, I have no idea. I assume so. It would make more sense than...
Yep.
Whatever. Anyway, just keep that in mind when you're listening to this, which is just smelling like a classic...
Exactly, classic bourbon.
Spicy cherry bourbon. It's just like really caramel, deep cherry, barrel bitterness.
I'm getting like a lot of cinnamon and vanilla as well.
Cinnamon and vanilla. A lot of vanilla.
It does smell kind of thin, to be honest.
It's got more of the ethanol-y kind of light, kind of like... Yeah, I don't know how else to describe it. It's just kind of that light alcohol, grain alcohol kind of smell to it.
Oh, I've still got the rye in my head from last night or the night before, whenever we did it. And that was so much... They had a lot of body behind it. Like, there was no ethanol. This kind of does.
This has got a little bit on the nose. Yeah. But it's also got more, surprisingly, more like herbal notes in the way of like black tea.
Yeah.
I get more of that, more dry, black tea notes in this than I did with the rye, which is kind of strange. I would have thought I got way more herbal notes in that, but that kind of went a little bit of a different direction. But yeah, black tea, toffee, caramel, deep kind of oaky, spicy, bitterness.
Nice cherry throughout.
Nice cherry, deep sweet cherry. It's got a nice nose, except for that slight little acrid kind of like spike of the ethanol. But we'll jump into the taste. Pretty much similar.
That cherry is... I love that cherry.
Yeah, it's just like that black tea, that barrel spice, and the cherry sweetness is like...
And that vanilla as well.
Makes the biggest difference, yeah. The deep caramel and deep cherry sweetness is what I think differentiates it.
It is a bit thin.
The rye,
on the taste as
more.
well.
It's definitely thinner, unfortunately.
I want to know what the 43.
It's more than 5% thinner.
That was a 45, is it, over in America?
No. The rye that was had. The rye is 45%.
Oh, yeah.
45.4.
Yeah, I want to know what the 43% in America would taste like.
I assume a lot better, but
It would taste the same. I hope it would taste the same. I just hope that the thinness would be more depth.
Yeah, I think the flavors would be a little bit thicker, a little bit oilier, because there is that the finish is. It's not like it doesn't come about like too quickly. Like it's not.
Nah, it's still lingering now.
It lingers. It's not. It's a fine. The finish is fine lengthwise, but like it does drift off to very dry and plain quite quickly. Yeah. Whereas I think if it had a bit more oiliness to it, you'd get more of those thicker, sweet notes carrying along with it, and the cherry as well.
Yeah, for sure.
But the initial hit of like black tea, cinnamon, nutmeg, and deep kind of charred barrel bitterness, along with that cherry. And a little bit of like kind of burnt apple or something on it. Brown sugar. It's a bit creamy as well, aside from like the actual.
I'm getting that apple tart again that we got in the rye.
I'm getting it more on the nose now, actually. If you go back to the nose, it smells like apple tart now.
Yeah. I'm actually going to compare the rye. Give me one sec. On the nose, the rye is a lot more thicker, more rich. It is spicier, but it's like a different kind of spice. Obviously, the thickness and richness come from the extra 5% that this has on the normal one.
And the rye is just like a more like herbaceous kind of. It just brings out more herbal notes.
Yeah.
That mash bill of just having a lot of rye, and it's a big difference. 3% versus like 18 or something.
When you compare the nose, the cherry's still there, but it's a lot more faint. And the sweetness is a lot more sweet than what it smelled before.
Yeah.
I want to taste this again.
I mean, I don't have any rye left, but I think I still prefer the rye just because of the intensity of the flavors. But this is damn good.
When you go from really normal Woodford to the rye is head and shoulders over it. Just the depth of flavor.
It's just more dense. But like, as it stands, like the price of this is about $60, 50, 55, 60 ranges around.
Yeah, so it's like $20-$30 cheaper as well.
It's totally affordable and it's super drinkable. Yeah. I think when it comes to like that price range, you can get some bourbons that are far more generic and a bit like even thinner and more one-dimensional. This has more spices and dry notes in it than a lot of other bourbons in the same price range. Yeah. I would much rather this than Buffalo Trace.
I'd go this over Maker's Mark as well, ever so slightly.
Yeah, me too. Except for the Maker's 46, which has recently dropped in price.
Yeah, Maker's 46 is better than this.
That's better than all of them so far. That has like a.
But compared to the normal Makers,
Makers and Buffalo Trace. Yeah. Makers and Buffalo Trace, this beats them out when you're looking at the ground level. Just Buffalo Trace, whatever regular bourbon, and the Maker's Mark, just regular stock standard one. This beats that around, and I think it's sometimes cheaper than Buffalo Trace, but I think Makers would come in a little bit under. Only like probably like $5 or $10 though.
I'd say $5.
I would
at
think.
The very best.
But either way, I think this is a damn good bourbon. I have had it many times, so it's not like I won't have it again. But yeah, if you haven't tried it, I recommend it. I think I'd still prefer the rye, but
I prefer rye.
What I'd like to do next is get another bottle of the double oaked and compare that to the rye and compare it to the regular bourbon. Just because like I can barely remember the double oaked. It's been 2 years? I don't know. Not 2 years, like a year and a bit. Yeah. So I like to try that as well and compare it with these ones. Alrighty. If you like this episode of Everything Whiskey, leave us a like. If you want to see future episodes from us, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. If you do, we'll see you next one.
Cheers.